Breathe Pennsylvania recognizes how stressful and just how busy graduation time can be. And I think that a way to encourage students to take proper steps in managing their asthma when they go off to, whether it's a new job, trade school, or university, is to offer them a jump start. And Colleen, I think that you're in a good position to provide that opportunity to the students. One of the things that I would like to try with you, this is actually called a straw awareness test. Whenever you're talking with parents that are really having trouble relinquishing that responsibility over to the student, we need to help them to appreciate that student's going to be on their own. And when they turn 18, the law does not recognize that parent or caregiver as that legal person that's allowed to check into their health records. So what I want you to do is we're going to take the paper off the straw.
Okay.
And you're going to take the straw and you're going to put it in your mouth and you're going to pinch your nose shut and you're going to try to breathe through that straw for 60 seconds. Keep in mind that you're sitting completely still and you know that at any time you can take the straw out of your mouth. But what if you couldn't? And when a student's going through an asthma attack, this is how they're starting to feel. And on top of not being able to breathe, they may start to panic because they didn't take proper care in making sure they had an inhaler at school, didn't take the time to think about who they would call if they were in trouble. They're very excited about the new gym and they want to spend more time over there, but they have exercise-induced asthma. So all the things that they took for granted now are becoming an issue. So now you can take the straw out of your mouth. And it is a good way for a parent to appreciate that they can't be with that student all the time. They need to allow the student to start assuming responsibility for their asthma. And a good way to begin that responsibility is to be aware of a free student asthma kit.
Okay.
And it kind of gives them everything, all the tools that they need to get started. So first of all, we'd start with a checklist, an asthma checklist. And if you take note, it walks them through all the important issues. It talks to them about creating an action plan, an asthma profile. That's compiling all your information into one place. This then makes it easier to share with maybe a roommate or with a health clinic, or if it's not a health clinic on campus, a health clinic in your community. And you'll notice that they recommend talking with your physician. Maybe instead of waiting till you need a medication, you're already on campus, you're involved with all the activities, visit the campus ahead of time. Scope out a pharmacy that's in your network, visit the pharmacy, and also make sure that you're getting your prescription set up. Now, when you look at the kit, it kind of addresses those issues. We have a checklist getting you started. We're going to provide you with an action plan and a place to keep your vital information regarding your doctor's name, emergency contacts, even your severity classifications. If a student is using an inhaler, then they want to also make sure that they have a spacer. A lot of students do incorporate the use of a spacer with their inhaler, and you can see how important that can be. A student that is using an inhaler on its own, you're going to note that a lot of the medication lands in the back of their throat or in their stomach, versus by adding a spacer, now you see that a lot more of the medication's making it to the lungs, and that's where you need it to be. So the kit provides the tools that they should have available to them. And I know a lot of students will say to me, yeah, okay, where am I going to put this? And gee, I don't even like pulling this out. So we'd like to make them aware of the resources, and we can link them again to our webpage that gives them some choice in what is most appropriate to their lifestyle. This particular spacer, it actually houses the canister, okay, so that you can insert it here. You might see this is a very popular spacer, and that's because it's inexpensive, $3. It's collapsible. Who can't fit that in their pocket?
Right.
Or in their purse or in their backpack? And again, it works the same way that a regular spacer does. And you can just insert it. But if you don't know about these,
Right.
and that's what the Student Asthma Kit is trying to link them into. A second tool that we recommend is called a peak flow meter. And a peak flow meter, I always refer to it as a lung thermometer, because as your airways change during an asthma attack, you may not be aware of it right away. But a peak flow meter is a way to monitor those changes so that you're ahead of the game. You can actually use your inhaler before you get into serious trouble.
Okay.
Or let's say you want to be very active, you like to swim or you like to run. A peak flow meter can help you do that safely. And then also included in the kit, there is an emergency assistance program. So we hope as you're transitioning out, you've thought about your insurance plan.
Right.
Are you going to be covered by your parents? If not, is there insurance on campus that's offered? There's also COBRA. But you want to think about these issues again before you get there, so that when you are on campus, you're there, you're healthy, you're in control.
I think so many times you think this is such a nursing issue, and it really is not. It really is a school-wide issue to help students transition safely to life after high school, regardless of the direction that they want to take. This is a great checklist. Even as I'm looking through it, questions that I would ask them, it can prompt me to ask other questions. And all of this is not limiting. All of this is empowering. This gives them a chance to be significantly more independent by managing their asthma.
And they'll do it successfully.
Right, right.
Remember, managing asthma requires a team effort in order to prepare a student for transition. The Student Asthma Kit includes proper management tools and information to help jumpstart this process. Use the asthma checklist for a successful transition to independent living and proper asthma management.